Hello, guys, and welcome to the first ever Turn 2 Motorsport podcast. I'm Ben with Rob and Avi, and we are three guys who are going to share our motorsport passion in 2026 and hopefully make this the Turn 2 place for all your latest opinions and views and whatever else we can think of in this year to come. Today, we're going to start off by looking at the pre-season shakedown in Barcelona in Formula One with all kinds of interesting stories coming out of the supposedly top secret event in Barcelona that was clearly about as secret as something not secret. So, to begin, we shall start with the big stories from the test. Obviously, Ferrari set the fastest time on the final day with Lewis Hamilton. So, we'll start off with Rob. Does that mean an eighth world title for Lewis Hamilton this year?
Well, as you know, it's far too early to say. We are going to have pictures up, and it will not relate to exactly what we're talking about.
I know, it's all just completely random, don't worry.
Yeah, they are all pictures from the Shakedown, though. So they are 2026 cars. But yeah, that is not Lewis Hamilton.
No.
That is Lando. That is new LN1.
LN1, oh, blimey, we'll get onto that, don't worry.
But yeah, as for Lewis Hamilton, 8th World Championship, I think if that car is capable, he'll have a job at beating Charles Leclerc, who's now in his prime and deserves a world championship, or at least a shot at a world championship. So how old is he now? 40, 41?
Hamilton is 41 now, yeah.
Yeah.
Makes me feel young.
I would love, I tell you what, I would love to see him have one more swan song at a championship, even just to be in the hunt for it. I would like that, but do I see it? I'm not so sure. I think Mercedes are coming up big guns this year. You've obviously got McLaren on the back of 2 championships, and there's a lot more competition out there now, and he's getting on a bit. And if the Ferrari is the fastest, like I say, he'll have a job beating Charles Leclerc.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting one to see if this Ferrari pace in Barcelona was genuine. Avi, I know you're not shy when it comes to Ferrari and opinions. What do you think? Is this week a sign of hope for the Scuderia, or should we prepare the donkey?
Well, hello, everybody. I think the timing of having the fastest lap kind of set everybody alight in terms of, hey, Ferrari had the fastest time. This is it. It's going to be the 8th title, or actually the first title for Ferrari in terms of a constructor for nearly 18 years or so. But it's not even preseason testing. It's shakedown. In 2011, Williams had the fastest time in preseason testing, and there were backmarkers at some point. Don't read too much into it. But going back to what Rob was saying, if this is the year that Ferrari does it, not only Lewis will have, the competition, whether it's Red Bull, Mercedes, McLaren, definitely not Williams, or you will have other stuff coming in. So it's going to be, you never know. Maybe it's a rocket ship.
You never know. I mean, this car, it's late. I mean, dude, we can't even find it. We've lost it, as the title suggests. But, it could even be...
It's the hope.
It could be even more striking than that Aston Martin, which we'll probably talk about at some point as well.
We'll get onto that. We'll definitely get onto that.
I honestly think that if Lewis is battling for a title, which he can still do it, like, come on, he's lost speed, obviously, but he's not like, Luca Bordeaux is slow type. But if he was going to battle for a title, it's going to be him versus his teammate and the team itself, because I know we talked about it before. Comes the midpoint or 3/4 point, there's that definitive race where Ferrari just crumbles. Takes them 1 or 2 races, but we all have those races in mind. Like Ben was talking before about Germany 2018, Japan 2017 was another one. If you're a Ferrari fan, yes, hope is the motto of life, but you gotta also be very worried about the field. So, can he win an 8th title? Yeah, but like you said, Rob, very well put together. He's gonna have massive competition and it's going to be beautiful.
It's going to be a very interesting year, definitely. Obviously, the big favourites coming into this year are Mercedes, and they did complete the most laps with a very rounded 500 laps of the Barcelona track over their 3 days of running.
It's not bad in 3 days, is it?
I doubt it.
It's not that. I mean, considering this whole test was meant to be secret just in case these new engines were terrible, and you've got Mercedes doing 500 laps in 3 days, and I think as a total engine supplier, like over their 4 teams, three teams, I think that were in Barcelona, they did over 1,000 laps.
Wow!
So it's just ridiculous, isn't it? How these new engines have already appeared to be, at least in Mercedes' case, almost bulletproof. Although there were a few small niggles from what we heard, but are Mercedes still the favourites? Do you think?
I think I think it's a stretch to say it's 2014 kind of domination that we're going to see. I think that's a stretch, especially with Ferrari on the last day looking quick. And what surprised me is Red Bull come out of the gates without many issues, other than Isaac Hadjar sticking it in the wall, but we'll get to that. But mechanically, considering it's this Red Bull powertrain Ford, it's been pretty, as far as what I've read and what I've seen, it's been pretty reliable straight out of the box, which is surprising.
Well, considering,
I know Audi have had a lot of problems.
I mean, I'm just looking now. Yeah, I mean, obviously we're talking about a Mercedes doing over 1,000 laps with 3 teams.
Unbelievable.
I mean, Red Bull, their new engine, considering it's a whole new supplier technically, they did over 600 laps with 2 teams. Yeah. So that's an average of over 300 per team, which isn't that far off Mercedes, really.
It's very good going, but as with Mercedes being favourites, I don't know what the bookies' odds are saying, but I would say that George Russell is probably the favourite now. We've still got 2 tests in Bahrain, and then we've still got Australia in another couple of months. So we're before early doors. We're before early doors. But
I was still getting dressed.
They're looking good. I think if I was William Hill, I'd be putting short odds for George Russell. Put it that way, yeah.
What do you think, Abby?
Well, I mean, let's go back to the whole test debacle. Apparently, it was like a secret. We all watched Top Gear growing up, so we know, let's go to our secret location outside of Oxfordshire on this track. That was basically what F1 was doing. But for us to be getting all those, it's typical. We're going to have a secret test, but we're going to have FOM over there and everything. The only secret about the whole thing was them and their policing and over-the-top policing of everybody at the track. I don't know if anyone caught up that story about how they were kicking people and journalists outside of the track. And all the photos that we got was from that bloke from Surrey Motor. That guy's a legend. He should have a paddock pass after this, because this was brilliant for him to bring in the photos. But I know why they did it. They didn't want a repeat of 2014. Goddamn, it's been I don't know how many years, 12 years. But also by doing that, it kind of hurt their own brand. You heard about people getting kicked out, police chasing them. But going back to the whole bit about Merck, if they are the favorite, well, it depends. There might be. I firstly don't believe they did 500 laps. I'm it's a bit skeptical about the whole thing, because yes, they were doing the time lapse, but we don't know the fuel load. We don't know what tires. We don't know the engine config. They might have been doing, 500 laps, but it was just trottling around. I know a team, for instance, which definitely did not do 500 laps, and that's Williams for sure. But other than that, most of them...
Aston Martin didn't do many either.
To be fair, they could have done 500 laps in that virtual track. You never know.
Oh, I've heard about this. Yeah, this virtual track running VTT or something. What?
The
VTT.
VTT,
something like that. Yeah.
Just to add a little bit of confusion to the whole VTT thing, as someone who speaks French, I saw VTT, and VTT means like a mountain bike or something.
So the abbreviation doesn't work.
Just imagining Carlos Sainz now and Alex Albon on bikes in a wind tunnel. Yes, this is the 2026 car.
But the thing is, if they brought VTTs, mountain bikes on the track, they actually will have been much more consistent and faster than the actual car, which did not run. So now, I mean, is Merck really the fastest team? Maybe, but I mean, I don't think they did 500. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. We don't have official data for sure. But for them to be doing that much of work and to hear what Russell had to say when it comes to like getting prepared and being surprised by Red Bull, for instance, that means they know where they stand. I think what's going to happen is when we go to Bahrain, we might also get a very different reading because the temperatures in Bahrain would be more representative to what we're going to have during the season or during the race. And if your engine is like that kind of engine, which really excels in lower temperature, and then, goes completely berserk in completely goes berserk in the heat, we might have a bit of 2014 when all the Renault engines were just coughing and coughing and coughing. So, they did good work. Are they the favorite? I doubt it, but we'll see. But they have the most mileage because they have so many customer teams. And that, I think, and going back to Williams, that might not be a bad thing for them to be missing testing because their engine supplier did all the laps, so they have the engine data. Whereas if you look at Audi and Red Bull and Honda, they don't have. Honda. I mean, Red Bull, Honda and Audi only have one team. Yeah. I mean, it's Newey, so. Maximum philosophy on Aero Zero and engine.
We'll get on to that because I'm not.
We'll get on to that.
We will.
True. I think the one thing as well that kind of worries me the most about Mercedes is the fact that when George Russell is complimenting other teams about doing a good job,
that's confidence.
You just know that secretly he's like, yes, yes, they're good, but we've still got another 10 seconds in our pocket. So
reading the interviews, the body language in the interviews is looking good, and he's looking confident.
He's looking very happy, isn't he? I mean, it's a worrying.
Who wins the race and goes to second place. It's like the guy who wins the race and goes to the second. He's like, oh yeah, not bad.
Good job, great job. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
great job. I had you covered.
Yeah, I had you covered, mate.
So we've briefly mentioned the Red Bull and their strong start with their with their own engines. Let's talk about Red Bull in a bit more detail. Obviously, the main story was more after the engine. Their main story was Isaac Hadjar's mixed start, shall we say, with the team. Obviously, he did lead the first day with over 100 laps, allegedly or unofficially. That's what they told us, or what we found out. And then, obviously, on his second day, which I believe was Tuesday or Wednesday, Tuesday, wasn't it? That obviously he had the big crash at the final corner, which we don't know a huge amount about, but obviously not the most confidence-boosting way to start your career. So firstly, what's your thoughts on Hadjar at Red Bull? Do you think, should we be worried about him crashing in the shakedown, or do we think that it's just something that he'll learn from and progress into as the season gets going?
Do you know what I think? Because we've had this reset in the rules, I think that Isaac Hadjar will get off on a good foot. And I think whilst he might not equal Max Verstappen, I think that the rule changes come at the right time for him because it's a complete reset and it gives him half a chance. Yeah. And I think the last 4 or 5 teammates of Max Verstappen in the sink or swim situation, they've sunk. It took Perez a couple of years to sink, but eventually he did sink. But I think Isaac Hadjar will swim. I think he'll be all right. I think he'll do all right. I think he might have the odd off, like we saw. And they called it a small off, and he absolutely destroyed the rear of that car. I think they were planning to run the following day, but it was a full rebuild day, and they had to delay it. But obviously, if you don't go out of the garage, you can run whenever you want in those 3 days. So even if you plan to run on a Wednesday, but you've got an issue, as long as you don't go out of the garage, you can just go on the Thursday. You don't have to commit to the plan. So they just delayed their whole running. But I think there was a day or two of rebuilding the car.
They had to send some more parts out from different teams, didn't they?
But I think he'll do well. I honestly think that like I say, is he going to beat Max Verstappen? Probably not. But is it going to be this embarrassing situation where you've got Verstappen in Q3 every week fighting for wins and Isaac Hadjar getting knocked out in Q1? No, I don't think the gap is going to be as big as we've seen in the last 5 or 6 years. I think he's going to be pretty decent, and they're going to be pretty happy with it. And let's go, Isaac Hadjar. I reckon it's looking good.
Okay, Avi.
I mean, Isaac was pretty good. Like, I agree 100% with Rob when it comes to there are new rules. It's not like, I mean, obviously, despite it being new rules, when you do your sim work and you do your development, you would base that feedback of Verstappen's, feedback. And what I think with Hadjar is it's going to be a good one because he's new and he doesn't have any kind of reference point, and this is like a new formula. So we've seen it in 2014, we've seen it in 2017, and 2022 as well. Newer drivers seemingly are better at, you don't have to unlearn stuff. You can just go down in and get on with it. With regards to the very tiny wee crash that Isaac had,
small off.
It was a very tiny crash, wasn't it? It was so tiny they had to cover the whole car up. Not that they don't do it, but the rims were gone. I'm just looking at a photo. Rims were gone.
Yeah,
rear wings were
gone. Did he go in? It was the right rear, wasn't it?
It was like he just he probably just spun at the same time, honestly. But it was not. Oh, there's the car when it was still running. Good timing. But that corner was gone, and I think we have a number 3 here. And I'm so glad to see Ben wearing, the updated Verstappen merch.
2026 Verstappen merch.
Yes, when you drove a McLaren.
Yes, definitely. Yes.
I mean, going back to the whole Red Bull thing, it's the first time that they won't have to point the finger at the engine supplier. If they have to point the finger at the engine supplier, it would be themselves, but whatever.
Yeah.
But it's also like a big change in the team. You got Marco's gone, thank goodness. You got Horner's gone, thank goodness. And you got Lewis gone. It's going to be quite the team. Let's go back to the launch, though. They had a massive launch with Red Bull, and they brought out that Red Bull Fold launch was like, wow, this is what we're going to come with. And they had the guy from the engine side, I think Ben Hodgson. He looked like, I'm sorry, I'm probably mispronouncing the name, but the guy looks like he never left that base, and he was in a bunker room or somewhere, and he had a boffin behind him. They were like, how's it going? Great engines. We worked very hard on it. But it's going to be a real season for Red Bull. The good thing is it's a new season, so they will have new data points and everything. The bad thing is it's only Toro Rosso or Racing Bull or Vizakash at RB, whatever its name is, and you're going to have them and the main team, Red Bull. It's only going to be them. AlphaTauri, Minardi. Let's go. No, but it's only going to be
the Faenza outfit.
Yes, the Faenza outfit, and
the other Italian team.
it's not going to be the other. Well, yes, but it's only going to be them versus Mercedes, and when it comes to engine development, which might be a little bit like, I don't know if it's going to hinder them unless you have data points from 4 cars, because I think Merck and them both had the piston gate, whatever it is, like expansion gate, the compression ratio was like 6 to 1, but yeah, and now they're going to do like 8 to 1.
As I understand it, Mercedes have got this loophole, and Red Bull Ford, they've got it, but none of the others.
No,
none of the others.
Is that the room? Is that the room?
Yeah.
And we're not. Yeah, I mean, we're not totally sure if Red Bull have it either, but it's a case of I think it came out because somebody went from Mercedes to Red Bull.
This is
and that's how it got out.
Yeah, because it's falling down.
Oh, look out! Rob's falling down.
All right.
They're listening, Rob. They can hear you. Oh no, your Red Bulls crashed. Oh no, Hadjar's in your belly.
Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, the ghost of Dietrich Mateschitz just entered the chat.
And Red Bull, the first Mullers of 2026.
Oh, guys, let's get down the Red Bull thing. All right, guys, that's it for Red Bull. No. But I just want to add before we
were just talking about their engine as well. That was weird.
I know. It's called the DM1 for Dietrich Mateschitz, so his goals just
it is called DTO1. DM01, isn't it? Or is it DT or DM?
No, DM. Sorry, it's DM. Didn't check for the name, but Hadjar also renewed the tradition of having the number 2 Red Bull driver crashing in testing. I know Gasly did it. Gasly's confidence was heard after that, but it's not the same environment. So you wonder what will happen to good old Isaac after that. Like, is he going to be speaking about the team, or is it like the negative spirit? Whatever happens, I hope he does well. Like, he has an unbelievable talent for sure. But I really hope he gets his chance and gets a good learning environment, because that team can be very much one-sided. It's like Schumacher, Benetton. Only works for Schumacher. It doesn't work for their teammates. So, I really hope that goes well for him. Okay, no more DM somewhere, but yeah.
I mean, just to add my view, obviously, on Hadjar, I think what's different about Hadjar is potentially Red Bull actually do see him as somebody who could eventually succeed Verstappen.
Yeah.
And I do think that will put him in a different position to the likes of Gasly, Ricciardo, Albon, all of those that have come before him.
Perez.
I think Red Bull, Perez. But I do think Red Bull will kind of feel more of a... They have to make sure that Hadjar is in the best place possible and develops as much as possible for the possibility that Verstappen will leave, if not 2027, obviously 2028. His contract expires at the end of next year.
Yeah.
Sorry, at the end of 28. So there is the possibility that Red Bull now do need to start planning for life after Verstappen. And I think Hadjar, obviously he had his little crash, but that shouldn't be anything that lasts too long from, shouldn't be any lasting issues from that. And hopefully, he'll get a good bit of on-track running in Bahrain, and his confidence will be back up again. On the engine side, obviously, we have mentioned it quite a bit. Rob, have you got any more thoughts on that, or should we move on?
On their engine? Yeah, I mean, they've come out of the block very good. Even Russell said in his interview, he said, we've done a lot of laps. Red Bull have done a lot of laps. So he was surprised. they've come out of the box pretty reliable, so it's a good sign. And like Avi said, they've got 4 cars to get data from as well. It's not just a one team situation like Audi and Aston Martin. They've got 2 teams to gather data from. They got in plenty of laps, so they've surprised me because I was thinking, I don't know about this. I'll tell you, I was thinking before the shakedown, I was thinking, is this the year that Red Bull really drop into the midfield? But I'm holding judgment. It's looking good.
Yeah, it's definitely too early to tell, isn't it, on that?
Yeah.
I think another thing which helps Red Bull as well is the fact that the engine has started so strongly and reliably. Like, so long as that holds, then obviously then they can go to Bahrain, and instead of worrying about if it works, they can find out actually how well it works.
Exactly.
So
that's what it's about. Bahrain, yeah.
So they're already ahead of the curve in that respect, in that they know it works, because obviously they've managed to do so much running, pretty smoothly. So now they can actually start to push it a little bit harder, probably much earlier than what they were expecting as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll move on to some of the rest of the teams. Interestingly, if I just get the data back up. There we go. Yes. Talk about other teams. I've forgotten one very important team. Our current world champions, McLaren. How could I forget them? How could I forget McLaren?
You did not forget it. I tell you what happened. It was papaya rules that made you bring the parity back with other teams. I'm very, very serious right now, guys. With papaya rules.
All in the pursuit of fairness.
Yeah.
Yes. It is, yes. I was trying to really to do the teams, and I simply forgot about the actual one that won last year, apparently. So there you go. That's how well the papaya rules do work. McLaren were the 3rd fastest team in terms of their overall pace. They're only 2/10 behind Ferrari. And even though they only started running on Wednesday, Wednesday, they also completed, a relatively middling 287 laps over their 3 days of running, which was interrupted by a fuel system issue on their second day with Oscar Piastri. That's definitely not a coincidence. So what do we think? Is McLaren just sort of still in that early phase of getting to know their car, and so we shouldn't really hold much judgment until Bahrain? What do you think, Rob?
Yeah, definitely. I think, like Avi said before we even went live, he said, they're just pounding round, getting the laps in. Probably, I would imagine a good 3/4 of the laps that they've done, it's just reliability testing. They're probably going round 5-7 seconds off the pace most of the time, and then maybe mid-afternoon when the track's warmed up a little bit, then maybe they think, right, let's take some fuel out and have a couple of get the soft tires on and have a go. But they'd just be pounding round, so they're not trying to grab headlines, are they, McLaren? I think they've gone undercover. They've got the undercover livery, which I like, the black livery, and they're just playing it cool, playing it calm. And I think once you get into Bahrain, especially the second test in Bahrain, they might then take the sandbags out a little bit, and you might see McLaren go in for the time. Well, everyone will sort of go for the time. Probably the last couple of days, Bahrain 2 is where we'll see a more idea of a pecking order.
Avi?
Well, I'll go even further. I don't think we have the proper pecking order, at least in like 5 races in the season. Because, you got Bahrain, but also Melbourne, Albert Park is very different compared to all the tracks that we have. Not that it's useless, but it's very different. Going back to McLaren, they have always been under the radar when it comes to testing. If you go back to, I think, mid-2000s, yeah, for sure. But one thing that I really remember was 2012 when they did their preseason testing. Though they did not win the championship, they had the fastest car. It was other factors that they did not win it. But their testing was under the radar. No one knew the pecking order. No one could. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. But they were really, and they have always been like that. Like bring down expectation, see where you are, and then you go from there. And I think the car itself, the spec that we are seeing, is probably what's going to be raced maybe in Melbourne also. Just because they've been so late to it. Maybe they'll have another development package or whatever it is in Bahrain. But that McLaren, if you go, I think there was a photo on F1's official Instagram where you had the car coming out of the pit lane or within the pit lane in Barcelona, and you could see how much the packaging goes. And I think McLaren was on the side of, hey, we're going to really tighten our car. Really, the rear is going to be very tight. Obviously, there's another team that we'll talk about which kind of excels at it, whether for good or bad reason. But McLaren, going back to them, now that Oscar Piastri has had a bit of a fuel, tank issue, whatever it is, fuel pump issue, does that mean, for the sake of papaya rules, that Lando will also have another fuel tank issue? No,
they've got to balance it out.
They've got to balance it out.
No, one has a bad pit stop. Yeah, one has a bad pit stop.
No.
It's got to have
a bad pit stop in testing.
You know what I mean?
Well, could be worse. But
a half-day pit stop.
And that's 24. That's 2015. They've been doing that since the whole Honda spell with McLaren Honda. They've been doing like half-day pit stop the whole time, so it doesn't change much. They have practice in it. But the car has why change now? Keep it together. But going back to the car, as I see the McLaren on the screen, good timing, Rob. Have you guys not noticed how this car, the McLaren and all the cars are a little bit like 2021 peak F1 regulation, with a little bit of 2005 in the front, with
I think very looks, 2005, 2006 dimensions. I think.
Because you look at the nose cone and the pillar, it looks very much like MCL, not MCL. Not the
it was MP4 back then.
Car, because that was like MP420, but it was not even the MP419, which was cursed. But it was probably like giving more the vibe of the 2003 car, like the MCL. Oh no, the MP4
before the MCL days.
That's how we are. But it's hard to read what McLaren done. We don't know their car since they were packaged. From what I've read from other press outlet, their car seems to be like very well packaged, and they haven't brought everything and anything out. I know the end plates on the front wing, instead of having facing down, they have like a bit of lift, like an aeroplane wing. But I don't know how that's gonna work. I'm not an aero guy, so they probably will have to get that out. I hope they do, because if not, imagine that. They'll be like, okay, Wheel of Fortune, that did not work. But can we just commend McLaren for actually keeping Zach Brown off the screens and the media during the whole period of Shakedown? Because we still were suffering from that cringe.
No, we haven't seen him. No,
it's probably
to be fair, though, they actually couldn't have taken him to Barcelona. They couldn't really have taken him, though, because if McLaren had actually been reliable and good, and essentially championship winning, they wouldn't have stopped him from being able to jumping up and down in the pit lane like an excited kid.
I know.
He'd have been on the hotline. The world champion hotline would have been open.
And this is why. They kept him out of the test, probably, because people are still recovering from that traumatic radio call that he made. Hello, World Championship Hotline. Like, come on, mate, get on with it. But he's probably underneath the MTC lake right now, which is a safe space. So wish him well. But now we don't know where McLaren is. We won't know until like Australia or so. But
Okay. So obviously we covered the top 4 teams. I'm going to throw the next part out to you guys. We'll see how well you've done your homework. Which of the remaining 6 teams has caught your eye the most during the shakedown?
Ooh. I think Aston Martin's caught everyone's eye.
Yep.
Alpine are looking strong with the Mercedes engine.
Yep.
I'm going through them all.
I mean,
Which one's caught my eye outside the top 4? Are we
Mhm.
still saying the top 4 is still going to be top 4 this year? Are we still saying
until we know a pecking order for this year.
We're not seeing a car from the back of the midfield all of a sudden jump up. What about Haas?
Well, do we think there can be a team that can make that jump into that can take a place in the top 4? Do we think there's one there that could potentially make that kind of jump? I mean, Haas. You mentioned Haas. They did the 3rd most laps unofficially of everybody, 387. Their car didn't run particularly fast. They were only the 6th fastest time of all of the 10 teams, but obviously, there you go. So it's on screen now. Again, perfect timing, Abhikesh. Sorry.
I think if was to pick another team, I think the most interesting one is Aston Martin because of the mystique and the mystery of it, and it's come out in this carbon black, and everybody's. So I think that's the most interesting one for me because where is that going to slot in? I think you're right. I think the top 4 will remain the top 4. In what order, I don't know. But you know, the powerhouses of Mercedes, Red Bull, McLaren, and Ferrari are probably going to be in that block. The Champions League is still going to be the top 4. You know what I mean? I think the top 4 are going to remain the top 4. Yeah. But where do Aston Martin slot into that? Do they suddenly go up to the front? I was thinking Williams might make a big jump this year. This is pre-shakedown. You know, I was thinking, is Williams going to get itself? Is Williams going to get itself in amongst that top bracket? Now, I've never seen a team late for testing or late in any regard and then done well. Have you seen someone turn up?
We've seen Braun GP.
So Braun GP. Did they miss the first test? How did that go then?
I think they did.
So they turned up late and dominant. That's a 1 in a million, that, isn't it?
I genuinely, I think they were definitely a last minute kind of thing because obviously because Braun only bought the old Honda team in like the December or January, didn't he?
But generally
so they were
speaking,
very. So they were
that might be one example in 20 years, but you never really see someone struggling to make a test and then be impressive. Rare. It's a bad sign. It's a bad sign. Now they might prove me wrong, and they might be you know, in the top 6 in Australia, but I'd be surprised. You wanted to. So for me, to answer the initial question, I think Aston Martin for the mystique of it. I think it's looking interesting. And there it is.
And there it is. Yeah.
Yes.
It's Abby.
I mean, going back to 2009 and Braun, did we all notice how the nose kind of looks like a 2009 Williams Braun GP nose? Very stubby in the front.
It does. But wide.
I know. And so I think it's a bit. I think we're hitting a bit of a point here where we're not turning to Craig Slater and Ted Kravitz trying to do a pecking order right away. I know they did it on the last day. That Aston Martin, I don't know how many laps they did. They were like, hey, it's going to be like in the top 4, maybe. No, you don't know.
How many laps did it do, Ben? 45 laps?
Unofficially, it did 54 laps. So it did 5 laps before Stroll, before it conked out on Seoul on Thursday, and then they did 49 with Alonso on Friday, unofficially.
Yeah, I don't buy them being like 4th fastest. I think Alpine, let's be honest, Alpine will be much faster compared to what they are because they don't have that Renault donkey in the back now.
Yeah.
Got, like,
Are we thinking
Premier
Alpine
League
biggest
engine
improvers?
supply.
Are we
I
thinking
think
Alpine
are
biggest
definitely.
improvers?
Yeah.
They were
Alpine
last.
would have had
They
a
were
lot
last,
of
weren't they, last year? They were 10th in
Yeah, they
constructors.
finished second last
they
year. Yeah.
were.
So they're looking most improved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
think
like
Alpine will have a lot
like
of
you guys are
development
saying,
time.
you know. Go on, Abby.
Like Alpine will have a lot of development time. Sorry, Alpine will have a lot of development time because they were last and now they have a fast engine, so that might balance them a little bit in terms of having more performance. I think, it might be teams that have been here for a bit. They will know their processes and everything. This is why I'm not adding Andretti, Cadillac, whatever their name is now.
Andretti.
Cadillac, F1. Andretti, Cadillac, Ferrari, whatever their name is.
Have we got Cadillac being anything other than 21st and 22nd on the grid in Melbourne?
No.
Honestly, it might be the case. I tell you why. Because I know they got people, they got good drivers, they got a good TP or chairman or whatever his role is in Graham Norton. But it's a new team, and you won't hit the mark when I know they posted a video about them doing the simulation and everything. But the reality suggests that they won't be. They might be in the points, but it will be different to Haas because Cadillac is actually going the proper independent way of making their parts. They're not buying off-shelf stuff from Ferrari apart from the engine, maybe the suspension, the rear one. That might be. That's why I exclude them from I don't know where they're going to be. Audi is another team where I don't know where they're going to be because they have an engine which probably has not
19th and 20th.
Or has...
That would be
that's where they've been before.
A tad harsh, maybe.
I don't know.
Honestly,
they've had the most issues, haven't they, Audi, in the test?
They did have. Yeah, I think Matteo Bonotto has said that he's never had a list of things so long.
Oh, really? I've not seen that one. But then it was always going to be the case.
At least,
like you said, they're in it for the long game.
Yeah.
As our Cadillac.
Yeah.
Hey,
I mean, I wonder if
list is better than no list.
Well, yes, and I wonder if Spinella is on there somewhere. It must be, I'd imagine.
So I've gone Aston Martin to keep an eye on. What did you say, Avi?
Are you going for Alpine, Avi?
One of the teams to look out for.
Yeah, Alpine.
Alpine.
Yeah, Alpine, which is not as French as Renault. Sorry.
Well, it's interesting actually because obviously Alpine and Aston, they both have their appeal at the moment, don't they? Obviously, Alpine, they've done a lot of running. Their car looks, very solid. Aston Martin, is it ironic that Avi mentioned the MP420 and here we are, 20 odd years later, and Newey has just designed another version, a modern version of the MP420.
Yeah.
It has the devil horn, so yes.
It even has the horns. It even has the horns.
Yeah, it does. It does.
That car, it is honestly, if that Honda engine is any good, if it's any good, Fernando, he's never going to retire, is he?
Well, he's going to bite down. I said last year, if he's has even a sniff of a competitive car, he's going to bite down hard. He's going to be like a dog with a bone. He's not going to give up, and he'll go ruthless. I think he'll go ruthless, reckless if he gets half a sniff at a top car.
I think he has to. He has no choice.
He will. It will be very interesting if Fernando Alonso is given a quick car.
Yeah.
One last dance. One last dance.
Yeah. I genuinely, and I hope this kind of isn't true because I think Fernando does deserve to have a good end to his F1 career.
Yeah.
I just hope that it's not a year or two too early Like,
and there he is in his prime at Ferrari, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
I loved prime Fernando Alonso Ferrari era. It was fantastic. Even though he didn't win the championships, it was unbelievable.
I just worry though that it will take Honda and Aston together until maybe till the end of this year, maybe midway through next year. I think it's still going to take that long for them to get to the point of actually being sort of near the front, because obviously they are talking about the car being quite a lot overweight as well, aren't they? So even though it looks like it does, it's
have you seen bulky. The nose?
Yes, it's the big bulbous front is quite interesting, isn't it? It's
it's like,
and I'm not. And actually, speaking of 2014 and noses, did you see that some people were comparing McLaren's nose?
The droop.
Oh, mate.
No, the 2014. Was it 2014? They will never be defeated.
Yeah.
They will never be defeated.
2014 one.
2014.
McLaren had like a appendage.
The Caterham was even worse.
The Caterham was the worst.
It was absolutely horrendous. It went all the way back. It went all the way back to the suspension. It was the full nose cone.
It was.
I'm still miffed that Caterham did not seek a sponsorship from Viagra, because that would have been better.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
No, the McLaren one is a slight resemblance, but it's nowhere near as bad as the.
No, it's not that.
And
bad.
You know, after that, it took years for them to phase that out. They all had the little stubby noses for a few years after that. It took years. It took 6 or 7 years. Yeah,
the years of vanity panels.
Mercedes.
The years of vanity panels. Yeah, Mercedes were the only ones who didn't go down the appendage route.
Yeah. It's mad that.
That's
crazy. Good times. Who haven't we mentioned? So we've mentioned Haas. Are we sort of putting them in the same level as, like, what do we say? Racing Bulls and Alpine. Racing Bulls, Haas, maybe Audi.
Yeah.
Are we thinking that they're kind of dead on midfield?
Behrman pole in Melbourne.
I imagine the scenes.
Behrman's an excellent driver. And I think he's underrated. But that Haas,
I do.
Yeah.
I think they're going to line him up for the Ferrari seat.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I mean, 100%.
I think he's definitely got a potential.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
and actually,
I'm sorry. I was just going to point out, Haas is in a much better space now with the whole Toyota linked up and not having Gunther Steiner in the team. Honestly, like that. No, I'm sorry. Like all memes about, don't bloody effing smash my door. Like, Gunther did nothing for this. All he did was memes, and he picked a bit back and had like his whatever reality show and book, and then that was it. Like, we did not like. I mean, that team went backwards when it started right. But yeah, for Ayo Komatsu to be coming in and to be stepping up and to be bringing the team forward, no, they're not going to win championship, but they will be stable, and that's what they need really. But yeah, that was my.
Do we see that as a first step towards them becoming a Toyota Works team? Is this the beginning of a project that becomes Toyota full?
Probably.
I don't think it will be immediate.
Not immediate.
I think a lot of that will depend on how long F1 actually commits to these engines for, because obviously last year there was talk about wanting to bring back V8s and stuff in 2030, possibly.
With sustainable fuels.
Yeah, so I think that will depend. So I think Toyota will probably... They're probably happy where they are right now in terms of what they have with Haas. If F1 continues with these engines and things like that, then they may get involved, especially if General Motors does a half-decent engine with Cadillac as well.
Yeah.
But I think that's still good 4 or 5 years away yet. I think.
Yeah,
possibly.
yeah. I think
Yeah.
there'll be a smooth transition. Yeah, like you say, over 4 or
Well,
5
Aston
years.
Martin did that in the past.
Are these engines until 2030 at least, and then it's
Yeah, I believe
Yeah.
so. Yeah, because there was talk at one point that they might go to V8s as early as 28, but I think that quickly got cancelled out by the team.
No, you can't be doing that.
And then they said, and then they said, 29, and obviously FIA president, Mohammed bin Sulayem was banging the drum for V8 and stuff. And so, but I do believe it is a 5-year cycle, so it will be until 2030 at least, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
And I hope so, actually, because I don't know about you guys, but I'm actually really enjoying these new rules already.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
What do we think about the battery saving situation? Is this going to be the main talking point of the season? Do you reckon?
We're not in Bahrain.
Harvesting, yeah.
I think we'll know in Bahrain. That's actually a very good shout, because Bahrain is one of the more energy conscious tracks, isn't it? It's got lots of straights. It's got a few more slow corners, but in terms of if they can get enough harvesting done in Bahrain to be able to have a good, situation there, then I think they should be fairly solid for the rest of the season. I do think the battery situation has been slightly overplayed, because if you think about how long F1's had hybrid engines now, 12 years, and imagine the progress they've made in those 12 years, and that's under the limitations of the previous rules. I think to be able to then expand that, into these new batteries for this year, I think by the end of the season, they'll probably might even be going as far as talking about removing the active aero, because it won't be an issue anymore. I think it's going to be something that's only a very temporary issue in the first year or two at least, before they eventually, have enough electrical power and to potentially do a whole lap. You never know. They might be talking about increasing the power even more if they're not careful, if they get too far ahead on development.
Yeah, I hope that 50-50 is as far as they go. Put it that way.
Yeah.
It will be 50-50.
Well,
it will be 50-50.
Yeah, I mean, even that's something that's a bit of not a lie, but I think it's a bit of a strange one that they have gone down this 50-50 marketing route so hard, because it's not even really remotely close to 50-50. It's because from what I've heard, or some of the rumors I've seen online, you've got your teams you've got Mercedes and Audi that are already producing well over 500 horsepower with just the V8, with just the V6.
Yeah.
And obviously they've got the equivalent of 470 horsepower in electrical energy coming through. So that's not so you've still got quite a big gap between the two in terms of the overall figures at the moment. But I do agree that it shouldn't go any more than 50-50 as long as it remains raceable.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we're going to go back.
We have Formula E for a reason.
Yeah, you got Formula E, but also with the whole e-fuel or synthetic fuel that they're trying to bring, it will make sense for them to stick with the V6. So even go back to the V8. I don't know how that's going to work in 2030, because you have manufacturers coming in, like Cadillac's going to build a new engine. How relevant is that for them to be having like a V8 also, like a good Cadillac V8 or whatever it is?
They're not short on V8s, are
they? No, they're not short on V8s, but you have to have manufacturers aligned when it comes to the new rule. And I think it might be a bit early, though I won't be surprised around Monday we'll get to hear about the new rules or whatever everyone wants to do next. When it comes to what's going to happen with these regulations and everything, here's a thought. How about if the cars get fast enough where they are now going back to the same level of performance or lap time compared to the previous generation of cars? How about we keep the active aero for teams which are back markers? I know that sounds controversial, but it probably won't happen. But that would be quite a thing. Like back markers get active arrow, where you're fast in the front and you're like kind of not in the corners. Williams could benefit from that, but
it sounded a lot like reverse grids, that, Avi.
It does sound a bit like reverse grid, yeah. Although, I mean, said that, Stefano likes those nowadays.
I know, but can we just get rid of sprint weekends? Because, like, why do we
sprint weekend?
I know they're lovely.
if you want to open the can to an open discussion,
yeah, maybe we can save that for the next one.
I do not like.
No, sorry.
We can maybe save that one for the next one.
Should be pre-season.
We've got plenty of time to discuss sprint weekends and all that malarkey.
I'll bring it back when it happens. I'll bring it back on sprint
weekend.
Yeah,
definitely. Oh, well, trust me, we'll be here waiting. Don't worry, Abby. We'll be here waiting. So, overall, then, obviously, I think we can call this week a success for the teams. Obviously, the fact it was secret, I think we can all agree, was a big smack in the face almost for F1. It backfired quite spectacularly.
Do you think that they were worried that it was going to be a red flag fest and constant breakdowns, and therefore don't have the television cameras, don't have the media, because we're not really going to get going? And then everyone's been pounding round, bar Audi having some issues and a few niggles. The top teams have been pounding round, doing as many laps as they normally would do when it's not a rule change. It's unbelievable.
Mercedes, it's actually a good point you mentioned that. Mercedes covered more distance in this first test than the other teams that have completed the most laps in the first pre-season test of the past few years.
It's completely nuts.
Wow.
It's mental.
They're bulletproof.
So
it's bulletproof,
almost bulletproof, yeah. I mean, obviously they're probably still in like limp home mode in terms of the amount of power that they're producing and stuff. But
that's it.
It's just going to be really interesting to see how they progress from there. Right. On that note, is there anything else you guys want to talk about in terms of the shakedown, or
not really? When does Bahrain test 1? Is that 11th of Feb?
11th of February, I believe.
The 10th. The 10th or the 11th.
10th or the 11th, yeah. It could depend on the time zone, because obviously Canada, it could be the 10th.
And is it two 3-day sections? So
I believe it's 2 3-day tests.
Yeah, 2 3-day tests, right?
Yeah. So
it's
we have all of that to look forward to, then, don't we?
Definitely.
We do.
Okay. On that note, then, guys, we shall end this first Turn 2 Motorsport podcast. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as we've definitely enjoyed making it. And we look forward to many more of these over the year to come. Thanks, Rob. Thanks, Abby.
No problem. All right, cheers. See you soon.
Pleasure.
See you soon, guys. Have a good day.
Bye for now.
Bye.